Hello, my name's Jane Bishop, and my family and I own this wonderful building called the Walpole Bay Hotel at the seaside in Cliftonville in Kent in England. And the Walpole is not only a hotel, it has a museum and it has a napery too. Napery, I hear you ask? What's a napery? Well, that's why I'm here to tell you all about our napkin art gallery, because it's taken on a life of its own and it's growing and growing, and I want to share it with the world. It all started in 2009 when a gentleman called Curtis Tappenden was booked here by a national newspaper, and we assumed he was a reporter, as you would, and I was in reception to meet him. 10 o'clock in the morning he arrived, and he walked through the door, and he became my new best friend for the day because everything was wonderful. He thought the building was wonderful, the exhibits in the museum were wonderful, the hotel was wonderful, the staff were wonderful, everything was wonderful, wonderful. And he went off in the afternoon and did his research for his piece for the national newspaper. He came back in the evening and he ordered his dinner, and guess what? His dinner was wonderful too. So there we were in the evening. I was on my own serving in the restaurant because it was one of those awful evenings when nobody turned up for work. I was rushed off my feet, and Mr. Tappenden asked for his coffee to be served in the bar. So I was rushing round getting his coffee tray ready, and I brought it through to the bar, and when I got there I was expecting another comment about how wonderful the coffee tray was. No. He looked at me and he said, "Jane, you've really disappointed me." I thought, goodness, what have I done? Everything's been wonderful since 10 o'clock this morning. And he said, "I would have thought of all restaurants, the Walpole would have had linen napkins on the dinner tables. Haven't you got any?" Well, I've got cupboards full of linen napkins upstairs, but the starch laundering costs these days are so prohibitive. We save them for high days and holidays, and we use good quality paper ones for every day. And he said, "Well, I want a linen napkin." I thought, you silly sausage, you've had your dinner, why do you need a linen napkin? But the client's always right, so I ran upstairs in the middle of everything and got a linen napkin, brought it down, gave it to him, and carried on serving dinner. Half an hour later, Curtis called me into the bar and he presented me with my napkin back, saying, "This is my magical memory of staying in your magical hotel." And he'd sketched the view from the bar into the dining room with the people and everything, and I was just so stunned. After I'd slapped his wrist for drawing on my linen, Peter framed the napkin for me and we hung it up in the dining room. Napkin, dining room, logical. And everybody said, "What on earth is that, Jane?" Because it stuck out like a sore thumb. We're known for the ambience of a bygone era. We're Edwardian, and we've got gilt mirrors and old oil paintings and wonderful old artifacts all over the place. And there was this stark napkin on its black background in a wooden frame in the dining room. And people were saying, "What on earth's all that about, Jane?" And I was saying, "Well, it's Curtis Tappenden's magical memory of staying in our magical hotel. Isn't it wonderful?" And they were saying back to me, "Well, we've had a magical memory. Can't we have one of your linen napkins to take home?" So I started giving out linen napkins for people to take home to depict their magical memory of Walpole upon. And look what's happened. Framed and hung in the hotel at the moment. In the Napery gallery there are 105, and when all the napkins come home to date there'll be 217. We've taken out a second mortgage to pay for the framing. But aren't they amazing? I really want to share them with everyone. You must come and look. There are different memories of different guests. The youngest is an 11-year-old girl called Oriana, and she's from Australia, and she saw us on the telly over there, and she came to visit, and she wanted to do a napkin, and her napkin depicts the Sydney Opera House, because now she's seen somewhere famous in England, us, she wanted us to see somewhere famous in Australia. And the oldest couple are in their 80s and they come on holiday and they've done 2 napkins. But the best one is the collection of hats, as you can see. So that's what we're famous for too, all our quirky little exhibits. But every napkin is so individual and they're done in every medium you can imagine. Now, how can people do oil paintings on my linen? Or watercolours? Embroidery? We have leaf dye art. We have stitchcraft. The list is endless, and everyone is individual to the guest that's done it. We've got named artists too. people just find them so interesting. They spend hours here trying to guess what each magical memory may be that's depicted on the linen. After 3 years of waiting, Tracy Emin is now represented in our napery. She's done 2 napkins for us, and it's wonderful that they're actually here. She put us on the art world map with all the things that she's written about Walpole and all the time she's visited, and she's spread the word and been a wonderful ambassador for us and also for Margate. The first napkin expresses sentiment in her own inimitable style and the spelling errors, but for Tracy to think that Walpole is a special and happy place, which we've always known it is, really is wonderful for us. The second napkin is something else. How I'm going to live up to my new name of the Banshee of Margate is another matter, but it's certainly causing a talking point. So now we have a huge collection now of Emin memorabilia within the Walpole walls, and such wonderful memories. You really must come to visit it all. For the first few months when the napkins started coming home, we just called the gallery the Napkin Art Gallery. And then one day, a chap came bumbling through the front door, Stuart from Fontaine's down in Margate, and he said, "I've come to visit your napery, Jane, where is it?" I just looked at him, I didn't know what he was talking about. And he knew that I didn't know what he meant, so he said, "Your napery, everyone's talking about it, Jane, where do I go?" I thought, what is he talking about? And he said, "Oh my goodness, napery, collective noun for linen. Where are your napkins, girl?" he said. And I thought, what a brilliant name. Nobody knows what a napery is, so that's why we called it the Napery Gallery.